What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Kia, and if you're returning, welcome back. So I thought I'd talk to y'all a little bit about what took me so long to get my driver's license. So if you would like to hear more about what took me so long to get my driver's license, please stick around. So first and foremost, to anyone that is affected by Hurricane Debby, I hope that all of us are keeping ourselves safe because Hurricane Debby touched down here in South Carolina, I want to say Monday. And so it's been raining pretty much it's going to be like this the entire week. And I was looking out my window and I saw a little bit of sunshine. Oh, it's kind of gone. I saw a little bit of sunshine coming in, peeking through the clouds just now, but now it's gone. But that was like probably the first sign of some sun since Monday. And by the time today's Thursday, and by the time y'all see this, it'll probably be Friday. And I think Hurricane Debby would have passed over South Carolina. But to anyone that is affected by Hurricane Debby down here in the South, I know Florida was hit. I know Georgia was hit. We were hit. And I think it's going further up, like near like New York last time I looked. So to anyone that is affected by Hurricane Debby, I'm keeping all of you in my thoughts and in my prayers. Please keep yourselves safe and as we make it through this hurricane season. And so the story time begins. So it all started back when I was 16. This was 14 years ago. Wow, that just took a lot out of me just to even say that. So it started when I was 16. I got so sick and tired of being in people's back seat, passenger seat, or taking the bus or taking a cab. And I told my aunt, who was my guardian at the time, I was like, I want to get some driving lessons. And she was like, you want to get some driving lessons? Okay. And so I don't even remember how I found this driving school, or I don't know if I looked for it or she looked for it or someone else looked for it, but somehow we ended up finding a driving school and it was called Lord Ashley. And I know they're mostly here in South Carolina. I'm not sure if they're anywhere else, but I know that they are one of the, not I wouldn't say one of the most popular, but they're one of the driving schools here in South Carolina. I know they're mostly in the North Charleston area, like further up North Charleston. I know they're in Goose Creek, Somerville. I believe they're in Monk's Corner. I could be wrong on that one. But I know they're mostly in like South Carolina. And so I went to this driving school. I enrolled in the class. I believe I paid $500 for the class. It was it was a package included. So it came with the driving class. It came with I believe it came with a driving lesson and getting your permit. And I want to say it included the road test too. I'm not sure on that one, but I did the class, and the class was 8 hours, and the ages was from, I believe it was from 15 up to like 24, 25, because I was part of the youth class. And so I hate when they do those activities of like, okay, I want everybody to go around the room, and I'm like, oh my God. Like I hate when they have those activities. But he wanted everybody to go around the room, and he wanted we were talking about safety, how to avoid getting in a car accident. And he wanted everybody to go around the room, and he wanted everyone to share a story from maybe an accident that happened or something. Like if it did not happen to you directly, share, like if something happened to a family member that made you want to be like, okay, I learned from that lesson. I'm not going to do that when I get my driver's license. And, how to avoid things and being in the vehicle, like no texting and driving, no drinking alcohol and driving, no being under the influence of anything while you're driving, things like that. And so everybody went around the room and I shared the story about when I got in a car accident with my dad back in 1999, and we were hit by a car, and my dad died in the car accident, and I shared that story. And he passed when I was 5, so this was back in 1999. And when I shared that story, everybody was like, like everybody was sharing like not fun stories, but like to liven the mood, because we were talking about, like, we were looking at videos of teenagers, um, drinking and driving and the safety. Pretty much, like, it was like we saw a video of a teenager drinking and driving, and the teenager was thrown from the vehicle and he died. That was one video that we saw, and it was another video that they showed the the consequences of texting and driving. And I think it's illegal here in South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. He showed us a video on that as well. And so, like I said, when I was 16, that scared the hell out of me, because given my own experience of what happened with my dad in the car accident, I was like, good to know. Like, when I saw those videos, it did what it was supposed to do, which was scare me. And it taught me to be like, I know not to do that when I get in my car. But so I had the class, and then I had my first driving lesson. I can't remember how long from the class that I had the lesson, but I ended up having the driving lesson. And in my opinion, I think the driving instructor was a complete asshole, because he was so impatient. And like, I remember, I'll never forget this. Like, I was in the car, practicing my lesson. And so I was making a right turn. We were driving in a neighborhood, and there was a sun. The sun was like glaring in my eye. Like, the sun just came out of nowhere. It was like a bunch of trees in a neighborhood, and then the sun just came out of nowhere, and it hit me in my eyes. And I couldn't see that there was someone backing out of their driveway. And so he slammed on the brakes real hard, and he yelled at me, and he was like, "You didn't see that car backing out of the driveway?" And I was like, "No, because I was hit the sun." And he was like, "No excuses. How could you not see that car?" And I was like, "Okay. I'm sorry. I did not see the car. The sun." It's like he didn't even want to hear what I had to say. It was like, and I understand practice it. I should have been able to see the car, but I was like, if you're driving and you get hit with sun in your eyes, and I did not have the little thingy, the little thing you pull down on the driver, on the little thing when the sun is in your face. I didn't even pull that down, because the sun came out of nowhere, literally, just like that car. I didn't even see the car. And I mean, it just went on for like 2 minutes about how couldn't I see the car and all this stuff. I was just like, it's like, bro, I get it. And it made me feel so low. It made me feel so like embarrassed, angry, not only at myself, but angry at him. But I was just like, I'm just ready to get this lesson over with so I can get out this car and get away from this dude. And yeah, so that was the first lesson. And did I even have a second driving lesson with him? If I can't remember, then that means I probably didn't. If I did not have another lesson with him, I know for a fact that I went home and I told my aunt, and I was like, I don't want to go back to that school. I do not want to go back to that school. I do not want to have that driving instructor. I'm going to leave a bad review. She was like, "Don't leave no bad review. They got a business." And I was like, "I understand they got a business, but I want them to know how their driving instructor made me feel." What you mean? Like, I was like, I'm gonna leave my bad review. But I left no bad review. I just moved on with my life, and I was like, whatever. And then so fast forward, I didn't do anything for years after that. I didn't go to another driving school. I think that lesson made me feel so like, uh, I wasn't even motivated to even get my license after I had that driving experience. It was just so miserable, you know? And so I didn't do anything for years. I didn't take no driving lesson. I didn't find another driving school. I just pretty much like let it go. And then fast forward to, and like I said, that happened when I was 16. So I'll put the year up on the screen, whatever year that was when I got my first driving lesson. And so fast forward to 2014, I had got my driver's permit, my beginner's permit. And me and my cousin had got it the same day. We had both went to go take um what's it called? The knowledge test, and we both had passed on the same day. Like we went into the DMV. We were in the same room, but of course we were being monitored, I think by a camera, and someone else was watching us too. And so we went in the room. It was like about five computers, kind of like a isolated, like an isolated room. And so we went in there. She was like at the first computer, and I was at the last computer. And so I can't remember how many questions it was. I want to say it was maybe, I don't remember. I'll put the number up on the screen because I'm not sure if the questions stay the same, like the number stays the same of how many questions you get or not. I'm not sure. So I really can't, I don't even remember how many questions I had. But I think, yeah, I had passed the beginner's test. And then I was like when I passed it, and I think it came across the screen, you passed or passed the knowledge test, and they show you your score underneath. I was like, I passed. And then I was trying to hide my smile because I didn't know what my cousin did, and she wasn't done yet. And so I left out of the room, and that's when the lady, she was standing at the counter that takes the pictures for the, like for your for your driver's license and stuff like that. She was standing there and she was like, "Congratulations." I was like, "Thank you." So I was waiting around for so after I had did that, she had me take my picture. And if I have the picture, I'm gonna put it up on the screen because I was rocking a blonde mohawk at the time. And hunty, woo! Would I go back to that blonde mohawk now? Probably not. I mean, I was a courageous 19-year-old then. I was a courageous 19-year-old. Like I was rocking all kind of colors in my head at that time. And I think I think that's when mohawks were popular, I think. I just knew I had to have one. Like when I had just got my hair done too. I think I got my hair done like a few days prior to me getting my beginner's permit. But if I find that picture, I'm gonna put it up on the screen so y'all can see it too. um, and then my cousin came out the room, and she had a smile on her face, and I was like, "Did you pass? What happened?" And then she was like, "Yeah, I passed." I was like, "You passed too?" And so we kind of like cheered each other. We were like, "You passed, I passed too." Like it was so like that experience was so fun to like pass your test the same day. And then she had got her picture taken, and that was that. And every single New Year's, I always make a resolution saying, "God, I'm going to get my driver's license. I'm going to get the lessons." And every single year, I never do it. Like, and I'm a huge procrastinator. Like, I'm always thinking the worst out of everything. I think that's not the right definition, but like I'm like a huge procrastinator, and so I just kept putting it off for years. I mean, until I want to say the only like the when I finally had my epiphany was Christmas of 2022. So do the math. I didn't do nothing since 2014, and then Fast forward to 2022, like Christmas time, that's when I finally was like, okay, I really need to do something. Like I'm tired of taking these cabs. Well, I think cabs went out of business here. When did it go out of business? I want to say like around that time, like 2022, 2021, somewhere in there. And so I was like, I'm tired of taking a cab. I'm tired of taking a bus. And around that time, I think I was working like all throughout that time of from 2014 up to 2022. I think I had like two or three jobs at that time. Um, because when I got my first job at TJ Maxx, I was taking the bus. When I got my other job at I think that was at what job did I have after TJ Maxx? I can't remember right now, but I had another job. I was taking the bus, and I had another job taking the bus. So I was like, I'm so sick and tired of using some of my paycheck to have to put aside for bus fare. Like I got tired of that. I got so sick and tired of that. I got tired of walking out in this heat, sweating on my hair, standing outside waiting on the bus that may or may not come on time. You getting to work late, you getting yelled at, you getting blamed for it. Child, oof. I do not miss taking the bus. I do not miss taking the bus at all. Like if I had to choose between taking a cab and taking the bus, it's gonna be a cab all day long. Um, but yeah, so in Christmas 2022, I finally decided to start taking my driving lessons seriously, and I had found this driving school, and it was called Behind the Wheel, and they're mostly in West Ashley. And so I found this company Behind the Wheel, and I had my first driving lesson with them, I believe in December 22 or January 23, somewhere in there. I had my first driving lesson with them. And the instructor, he was pretty nice. He was funny. Um, I can't remember how long he worked for the company. I know it was like over a decade. So he'd been working with them for a really long time. I looked up their reviews on Google, and everything was 5 stars. Everybody was saying positive things about the school. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try y'all. I'm gonna give y'all a shot. Let's see what's up with y'all. So I went there. I really enjoyed the driving lesson. He kept me laughing because I love to laugh. So I was like, I like him. I felt comfortable driving with him. Any questions that I had, he was more than willing to answer any questions that I had. He was patient. He understood that I was there to get my driver's license and I was there to practice to get my driver's license. And I was like, it was a 180 experience from when I had the lesson with the Lord Ashley dude. And so I had my second driving lesson with him in July 23. And it was the same thing. I enjoyed it. And then I tried to book another driving lesson with him. I want to say in like September, October ish. And that's when I found out that he was leaving. I was like, you're leaving? He's like, yeah, I'm retiring. I was so sad, man. Like I really had liked him. Like I really liked him. He was funny, man. And so he ended up getting replaced by someone, and he was just as good as the guy that I had prior. I thought he was funny. He was a his I hate to call him his replacement, but he was he retired from being a I think he was a police sheriff or something like that. I know he worked for the police department for a number of years and he retired. He was a veteran from the police. And I was like, oh, I was afraid to mess up. Like, I was like, he might put me in handcuffs. But I had to remember he is retired. And so had my lesson with him. I really enjoyed it as well. He was nice. Um, I felt like he was like the cool man because he was rocking his shades. He had on his nice loafers. I was like, all right, all right, all right. Like he was looking like he looked like how I want to look when I retire. Like he was like so happy to be done with working with the police. I was like, I want to look like that when I grow up. And when I retire, I ain't gonna have a care in the world. And then I after that lesson, I try to book another lesson with them. Well, I booked a lesson with them and I was paying off the balance since October. So I was paying off the balance since October. And then in December, when I finally paid off the balance, I called them, at least attempted to call them, and it went nowhere. Like they weren't returning my calls, they weren't returning any of my messages. It was like they just ghosted me. I left voicemails, emails, and they just went ghost. I don't know what happened. I really don't. Like I was like after I paid off the balance, I was like, all right, I paid off the balance. Let me call them to book my next lesson. And they just went ghost on me with my money. And it cost $300 worth. I had 300 reasons why I needed to talk to them. And every single time I reached out, nobody was returning any of my phone calls, emails, nothing. And at first I was like, should I leave them a bad review? Like, and so I just prayed about it. I left it in God's hands and I was like, I'm gonna just move on. Maybe it just wasn't meant to be. It is what it is. Maybe that was a sign from God that showed, maybe this one isn't it. And then fast forward to 2024, I moved on with my life from behind the wheel and I found another driving school. It was called, it's called RPM Driving School. And I found them, I want to say like February, March ish. I found them this year. And I had my driving lesson with them. I'll put it up on the screen. I don't remember right now. But I had my first driving lesson with them. Her name was Ashley. And I really like her. I thought she was so cool. She was like kind of like a tomboy-ish, like kind of like me, really. But she was like wearing like long t-shirt, jeans, sneakers. Her hair was like beach wave, and she was rocking her shades. And so like that's the feel I got from her. Like she was like a tomboy. So I was like, all right, and like I felt like she was straight to the point, like she was showing me different maneuvers and different things like that to do in the car. I think I talked about my experience in another video. So if you guys did not see that video, I'm gonna put a link down in the description box so you can go check that out. But I really enjoyed having my driving lesson with her. She was funny. Like I said, she was a tomboy. She was straight to the point, and she wasn't playing no games. Like she meant business. Okay. And then I had my second and last driving lesson with them in June. And that's when I had got my driver's license from them. The second instructor that I had, her name was Emily. I thought she was fun, laid back. Um, yeah, I thought she was fun, laid back. She like she talked me through how to do different maneuvers and actually showed me how to do the different maneuvers. Like they both have their own style, but I learned from both of them different styles on how to like do different driving maneuvers. So I really enjoyed her as well. And so, yeah, so for those of you that did not know, I passed my road test. That was on June 28th of this year. Oh, no, that was June 20th, I believe, of this year. If you did not see my previous video that I saw, please make sure you go check that out. I put a link down in the description box for that as well, because your girl got her driver's license. Hunty! Put that thing up on the screen one more time for the people in the back that did not see that video. Because where have you been? Where have you been? Look at that thing right there. Mm-hmm. Your girl went ahead and did it. Child, like 10 years. 10 years it took for me to get my driver's license. But hey, like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So that's it for this video, you guys. I hope you all enjoyed watching this video. It was pretty long, but you know, I wanted to come back as promised and share a little bit more about what took me so long to get my driver's license. So comment down below, let me know your test date, or if you are currently in the process of starting to get your driver's license, please let me know that as well so I can cheer you on here from Charleston, South Carolina. Again, keep everyone in your thoughts and in your prayers to anyone that is currently affected by Hurricane Debby. Please follow me on my Instagram. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will catch you all on my next video. Bye.